Hey everyone. So for this video, we are going to be looking at another personal loan, but the fulfillment team and what they do for a personal loan. So when you log into Meridian Link, your personal queue is going to pop up first, and you can see all those there. Now on the queues on the right side of the screen, though, for the fulfillment team, this is where you're specifically going to be looking most of the time to pull an application. There's two queues that are going to apply to you. The first one is the contact for STIPS queue, and we have it located at the top here. Now, the contact for STIPS queue applications that live here are going to be applications that require stipulations to receive from the member before we can fulfill that loan. So, an example of that would be we need to acquire a pay stub from a member to continue to fulfill the loan. And then the other queue that you would be looking into is the doc prep queue. And the doc prep queue applications that live there are just applications that do not have a stipulation required to fulfill the loan. They're ready to be fulfilled and booked. Let's look into the contact for STIPS queue. So we would click open queue. And from here, we would select the loan that we are going to be looking at. And it's going to ask you, do you want to move this app to your personal queue? Yes, you want to move this app to your personal queue. As a fulfillment team, anytime you're in an application, you want to assign it to yourself. Okay. When you get into the application here, the first thing you're going to do is go to the funding page. Now, when you get to the funding page, you're going to click on comment on the left side, then click memos so that you can look at any notes that have been done on this loan. You can familiarize yourself with this loan and what's going on. Okay. So under the memo section, you'll be able to see the notes from the sales team and possibly the underwriter and everybody that's made any notes on this loan here. You will be able to see. We see that the member's applying for $7,500 for furniture. It was approved. Make sure to verify income. Okay, so we look at the comments, we see all that. Once we've done that, we can exit out of the comments and we're going straight to the task list. Now, when we click on the task list, this is just like an account opening. Okay, it's going to show you incompleted task here and what we need to do. The one incompleted task is proof of income, most recent pay stub. So we would talk to our member, get in contact with them, and get that proof of income. Once we've received the proof of income, we would check that box to show that we've completed the task and there's no more incomplete task required. So we would exit out of our task list. Now, on the funding page, the first thing we're going to look at is the funding officer where it's blank. Again, you want to click that drop down and go and click your name. So I would find my name and select it for the funding officer. Always make sure you're assigning that funding officer to yourself. Next, we're going to go down the page and the loan structure. Now, the loan date on the left side, the loan started on February 15th, 2023. Now, today is February 16th. So maybe it took us a day for the member to get back to us with that pay stub. If the funding date and what you're working on right now is different than the loan date, we always want to make sure we change the funding date to today's date. So we would change it to February 16th. Now, while you're talking to the member and you've, received that pay stub and everything, as you're going down this funding page, again, we want to confirm this information with the member for like that final third confirmation with the member that, hey, we've got you down for $7,500. The payment amount is $125. That includes your debt protection of life, your life protection on the loan. We've got you set up for biweekly skip last. We have the first payment date as March 16th. This is the last time to confirm all this information with our member. Okay, so make sure we're doing that. But as we come down the funding page, we're going to be focusing mainly on the disbursements here. We show that the loan is $7,500 there, and we're going to add a disbursement by clicking the Add Disbursement button. Now, when this pops up, because this is a signature loan for $7,500, we're just going to deposit that $7,500 into the member's savings account. So under the deposits, we would click Add Deposit. Now, the amount, we would put the $7,500 in, and then the account number, we're going to put their 5-digit account number. And the suffix, we can put the savings account because we're going to put it into the member savings account. And then the type and date to credit, we can leave that alone. We're not going to use that. So click the Save button, and it's going to swirl and show you that, hey, we're depositing into 95856 savings account, $7,500. So once you've got the disbursements and everything looks good, you're going to click that Book Loan button there. Now, this part is very important, so lock in with me here. Okay, when you click Book Loan, we're not actually going to completely book the loan right here. All we're doing for this is generating a loan suffix number for our documents, okay? Because if we don't click book loan there, then it's not going to create a loan suffix in our documents. And so up at the top, you'll see the suffix number of 0019. Make sure that you take note of that loan suffix number there because we want to make sure that the loan number that it generated for us there is the same loan number that generates on our documents. Okay. Then we have branch, loan officer, loan type code. All of these drop downs, they should pre-fill, but here's the thing. We want to make sure that they fill in correctly. Look at them, make sure it all looks correct because as we're looking, the payment frequency here says biweekly. That's not correct. It's supposed to be biweekly skip last. So we would change it to biweekly skip last. And once all those drop downs are set up correctly, we would scroll down to the bottom and we're not going to click book or disperse. We're only clicking save right here. Again, we're clicking save so that it generates a loan suffix number to our documents. Okay, so we would get out of that and then we're going to our documents. Now, when we get to documents, this page looks exactly like the account opening page. So we're going to click generate documents. And here we're going to select the documents that we need for this loan for the member to sign. So the consumer app, the debt protection, the multi-state loan and security agreements, the risk-based pricing with credit score. And then we're going to view the selected documents. Now, after these documents pull up, the documents haven't changed for you guys. So all of this should look the same as what you kind of see right now. So you would have the applicant sign if they're in branch, just like you do now. However, if you're talking to this member over the phone and they're not in branch, you would select the DocuSign button in the top left to DocuSign the documents to the member. Okay. Again, that's if they're not in branch. And then you would obviously everything with the DocuSign is just like you do now. So you would give them the access code to get into it and all that good stuff. Okay. So once the member signs the documents and once you get them back from DocuSign, you're going to click print and archive to save the documents to imaging. So we're going to close that documents out and we'll close this out. And once we've completed our document, you can see them there at the bottom in the archive documents page. But once we've got the documents completed, we're going to go back to the funding screen and we can scroll down to the bottom and we're going to click that book loan button again. Now this time when we click the book loan button, we are going to, again, make sure that that suffix there, 0019, is still the same that it was just a second ago, which it is. So just confirm that because we don't want to have two loan numbers booked there. The documents won't read correctly. So we'll scroll down to the bottom, and when we get here, we're going to click book to actually book the loan. It's going to ask you, are you sure? We're going to click OK, and it'll tell you successful. We'll click OK. And this time we'll scroll back down and then we're going to disperse the loan. So it's going to ask you, are you sure? We're going to click OK. And it's going to tell you successful. So now once we've done that, you'll notice that everything on our funding page kind of grays out because once we've booked it and we've dispersed our loan, the application in Meridian Link is going to lock. So we're not going to be able to change anything there. So at this point in Meridian Link, we're done. So you can just click the home button to get out of the app. But now at this point, because you have two screens, your other screen should have Symitar pulled up. And immediately you should be able to see that loan that you just booked under the member's account. You should be able to see the loan and you also should be able to see the disbursement of the $7,500 into the savings account, or depending on whatever account you're doing or loan you're doing, you should be able to see the correct disbursement into the correct account. Again, make sure you've always got your Symitar pulled up on that other screen to compare that what we did in Meridian Link is showing up correctly and immediately in Symitar. And at that point, you are done.